Hey folks, this is Johnny. Welcome to my second home studio trainer live, and it doesn't look like we have anybody here yet. But that's okay. Hopefully they will begin to start filtering in so that we can get this show on the road. So for those of you that are watching the recorded version of this, we're actually going to explore the advanced tempo mapping, for which I've made 2 videos, and both videos need to be completely redone because every time I do one and I figure something out, I find something new. So hopefully we can get a few people in here. There we go. Bob's here. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Tap that like button. Welcome, Bob. Good to see you. Johnny Lipsham is here. Cool. Wrong. I'm here. Okay. I love being wrong. Very cool. So we do have a couple of people here. So again, for those of you that are watching this on recording and coming in here live, there were a couple of videos that I did on the advanced tempo mapping. Now, I was right in all the videos, but I left some stuff out of each. So I'm going to try to make sure that I cover everything today. So if you guys have anything to add and things that I need to look, Truckee pointed out something interesting too. There is a right-click option in all of this stuff where you can just, export to the tempo track. The word isn't export. I can't remember what the word is right now. But what I found in my testing is that doesn't work as accurately as if you do it the long way, and I'll show you guys how that works. All right, Tony is here. Good to see you. Says I was I was just at the toilet, but now I'm here. Okay, well, good. Let's not combine those two. That could be quite messy. Let's see. BTN Studios is here. Says Bill the Noob. Oh, that's what that stands for. Bill the Noob is on the scene. Good to see you. So we've got Johnny Lipsham, we got Just Bob, we got Tony, and we got BTN. Excellent. He says, what's up? Now, I am at the end of this bronchitis thing, so I'm coughing a lot. I'm going to try to hit the mute button when I do, but I'm not quite sure that the mute button works, so we'll actually see how that goes. I've got Studio 17 pulled up, so we'll be able to actually get going here as soon as we get a few more people. Oh, wow, we got 12 people in here so far, so that's good. Let me see where the 12 people are. At least that's what it says here. It says concurrent viewers. We have 12. I don't think that that's right. But let's see. Yep, I still don't have a way to actually see how many views I got. All right, very cool. So let's go ahead and do this. Boom, there we go. So we're here in the classroom. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, Wayne is here. Good to see you, Wayne. Let's see. I'm going to open up a new song. Just going to open up the empty template. JG has bronchitis. I have the flu. Yay. We're brothers in way too many things, Johnny. That's for sure. Don Oliver is here. Kyle is here. Good to see you guys. Really good to see you guys. All right, so I don't think you need all of this malarkey here, so I'm just going to strictly stick with the view here for the classroom. I want to see if I can turn on the key switching, or not the key switching, the keystrokes, so that you guys can actually see them. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to move this up here. Move it to the middle. What do you say? So that you guys can actually see the keys that I'm hitting. Gee. Very cool. All right, let's see. I think we got 13 people in here. Wayne Goldman just joined us. So that's cool. Don Oliver, Kyle, BTN, Just Bob, Johnny Lipsham, Tony Stingert. I'm sure I'm pronouncing your name as Stringert. I've known you this long, Tony, and I still don't pronounce your name right. What the fluff? All right, very cool. Oh, you know what I can do here? I can do it this way. Participants. Yeah, there we go. We got 8 people in here. Good to see you guys. All right, so one of the things that I was having issues with when it comes to the tempo mapping was figuring out a quick way to actually maybe do a shortcut or something like that. It looks like it's already there, and I can assign it to a key if I want. So let's do this. I'm going to go to... You know what, Wayne? If you're going to stick around for a bit, I am going to use the song that I used in the video, which was one that you, Mike, and I did. Let us see. Let's go to Files. Let's go to Volumes. Let's go to my external drive. Let's go to My Music. That is not my music. This is my music. And let me see if I can find it now. Actually, maybe it's in the Johnny Guibe folder. So let's see. That's not it. I'm going to see. Oh, I could use that one too. You know, I can't remember the name of the song that I used in that other video. All right. Got 13 people in here. Good to see everybody. Let's see. Wow, I can't remember the name of the song. Oh, it's pronounced String Nerd. All right, thank you, Tony. I think I have pronounced it correctly at times, and then sometimes I don't. All right, I'm going to close this, and I'm going to see if I can find it here. I think it started with an O. Maybe not, because that's not them. Yeah, it's got to be in the Johnny Guibe folder, because that's where I put all the stuff that Mike and Wayne and I did. So let's see here. I could use outside. Am I stuck on the outside? I don't know if this will work. Let's try it. You remember this song, Wayne, don't you? Wayne Goldman. Wayne Goldman says we're brothers in phlegm, Johnny. Nice. I'm not quite sure he spelled phlegm right, but that's all right. All right, so let's see here. So Wayne, you remember this song, don't you? You know, I would give my remaining years of life to sing that way for one more day. Jeez. Oh, man. All right, so here is the song that we're looking to. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is that the mapping doesn't work with all songs. Don't know why, but it doesn't work with all songs. So there were a few that I tried when I was doing the testing that just didn't work, and the tempo was all off, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to review those now that I know a little bit more. All right, so the thing to remember about these songs that I do with Mike and Wayne is that they're not recorded to a click. They're not recorded to a grid, nothing, and I haven't quantized the song. So what we're going to do is we're going to want to try to create a tempo map. And once we create the tempo map, we're going to see about adding a new loop to it to see if it stays in time. So there's a couple of ways to do this. The easiest way is to right-click and and choose extract. That's the word I was looking for before. Extract the tempo track. So if I do this, it will create the tempo map. But I notice that sometimes when you use this, it doesn't always line up. So what I want to do is I want to take the first downbeat. And it looks like it's this right here. So if I go ahead and I move this here, I'm going to turn off the snapping just for a second. And I'm going to move this right there. There we go. I'm going to turn the snapping back on. So what I want to do is I want to line this up with the second beat, second downbeat. All right, so I'm going to go here to the hamburger. I'm going to go tempo. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to choose extract to tempo track. That is the correct spelling for phlegm. Nice. All right. So, okay. So this actually works pretty good. So let's see. Let's turn on the click. Let's actually open up this box over here. And it's interesting because this is going to say map. So right now, what this is telling me is that it is synced to the tempo map. Look at that, Wayne. We are so terrible in keeping a tempo. All right, so let's see. If I go ahead and turn on the click, and I hit play. Perfect. Nice. I'm going to turn up the click extra loud so that you guys can hear that it's timed. All right, that sounds good. Oh. Wow, it is perfect. Hey, George is here. Good to see you. Well, so far so good. All right, let's see what it does with the break. Oh, man. All right, that's pretty impressive. It actually found every downbeat. Okay. So we have a couple of things that we can do here. So since it actually worked as well as it did, I am going to save this right here. There we go. So it is saved. The little save window was off screen. So now that it is saved, let's see. The song you used was Get Out. Oh, that's right. That's right. Thank you, Thank you, Bob. Appreciate it. All right. So this one worked too. That's good. So now you can see little areas where the tempo got a little funky. But, I mean, we're pretty consistent. Up, down, from 122 to 117, from 122 to 117. All right, so we are that good in that sense. Now, one of the things that I found out is that if we go here and turn on the bend markers, you don't see the bend markers. But if I was to change the tempo of one of these little dots here, I can change the tempo of the song, which is painfully cool. So let's see. So I'm going to go here. So now if I was to take this little speed up right here, and I was to actually increase the tempo. Whoops. How do you do this? Oh, that's not it. Now it's not working. Because it used to be the option key. I could actually grab it and grab this line up. All right, well, that's not going to work. All right, so let's do it this way. I'm just going to take these two dots. Ooh. Oh, that's because they're all highlighted. Hold on. There we go. So let us click here. There we go. All right. So now if I hit the option key, it's still not working. All right. So I'm going to take these two dots here and I'm going to raise this. Look at that. If you increase So I've increased this to 133, and look at this. It actually speeds up and slows down the song. Now, conversely, one of the things I also discovered is that since all of the bend markers have been placed, if I take the song, let's see, looks like the average tempo here is about 122. I could actually take the tempo map and I can totally redo the tempo map and have the song actually sync to the grid. So what does that mean? If I have a consistent tempo across the top, I can now actually increase the entire speed of my song by just increasing... Oops. There we go. I can increase the entire speed of the song by just increasing the actual tempo. So now I am at 133. So there's no more having to place your bend markers in order to get a song to play to the grid. You can either have the grid adjust or the tempo track adjust to the music with all the tempo changes, or you can get rid of all the tempo changes altogether and have the song follow the grid. Now, I'm going to do something else. Watch this. So now that I have this, I'm actually going to go ahead and bring it back to its normal tempo with all of the changes. Just like that. Wayne is definitely one of the best, if not the best drummer I've ever had the honor to play with. Some of the songs that we wrote, man, it's just amazing to go back and listen to some of the stuff that we even did when we were really young. All right. So what am I doing now? I want to, I've done it both ways now. I have used the extract to tempo track. I have changed some of the tempos. I have synced the song to the map. So now, what if I want to add something to it? Let's say Wayne wanted to change something. He wanted to make it more robotic, and he wanted me to use a loop instead of his drums. Now, Smart Money says he would never want to do that, but just for this example, I'm going to right-click, and I'm actually going to say, I don't know if this is going to work, so I'm going to try this. I want to do something with this here. And what I want to do, unless I don't have the option after I do the tempo track thing. Okay, we're going to do separate stems. Let's see, consolidate selected stems. I think I gotta check this. Or maybe not. Okay. I'm just watching the chat. Hey, Kevin's Guitar Stories is here. Good to see you, Kevin. Let's see. Mr. Humphrey's here. Good to see you, man. And who else joined us in the meantime here? Rich Cresswell is here. Good to see you, Reg. He says salute. Let's see. George Mateos joined us. We have 16 people. All right. So, all right. So now what the stem separator has given me the option to do here is I'm going to change the color of my tracks. Red, blue. It didn't change to red. I wonder why. Yellow. I'm going to do green. Let's try to get the red in here again. There we go. All right. So now here are the separated stems. Here's Wayne's drums. All right, so since we have a tempo map, I am going to turn down Wayne's drums.
I feel like I'm caught in the middle, caught in between the in and outside.
So now, one of the things that I can do now is I can actually go to my instruments. And I can go to Tune Track. And I can bring in Easy Drummer. And just for grins and giggles, I am going to go to the browser. And, oh, wait a minute, maybe this is, let's see here. Okay. That's almost the right beat. All right, I'm going to bring this in here. And let's see what it sounds with new drums.
I feel like I'm caught in the middle, caught in between the in and outside. But every
I think if I'm careful enough, I can actually get that fill right. Watch this. I think it's right here. Oops. Wow. I'm not lining up. I think it's one back. I gotta get the downbeat. Okay, so it's right here. Drums, mute. I can't find the downbeat. Okay, so we're just gonna... I'm not gonna dick around with that anymore. So... I should have stuck with it the first time, you know? So let's see if I can actually find the actual... There we go. There it is. Just like that. So my point to doing all this was just being able to use the stem separator and using some loops, once you actually get your tempo map all set, whether you actually set up your song to follow the tempo map or you set up the tempo map to follow your song, you can really go through a lot of your old songs and recreate them, maybe improve on them. You can add keyboard parts and things like that and still be able to adjust things. And one of the things about this song, now that I'm just going to go back to where we were at here with the actual song, let me right-click, remove track and instrument. You guys get the general idea. There we go. Wayne, what we have proven here is that you cannot be replaced. All right, so one of the things that's always bothered me about this mix is that the drums are too loud. And the vocals are always too low.
I feel like I'm caught in the middle, caught in between the in and outside.
All right, I'm going to turn off the click.
But every I love you's a riddle, caught in between your good and bad side. Am I stuck on the outside looking in?
All right, not a bad demo, I think. I did stagger a little bit trying to line up that drum track, but I'm not really worried about that. So what did we do? We actually took a song and we created a MIDI tempo map so that we could drag in any loops and have the any MIDI loops or any audio loops that we have follow the changing tempo. We also experimented with actually normalizing the tempo and making the song follow the straight grid. We did it, I think, at 133. This gives us the ability to now just keep things better synced. And you can do this with any song that you have. Let's say you do a song, you have a song from years ago that just has too many doggone tempo changes that are really noticeable. You can bring it here, export it to the tempo map, customize the tempo map to just follow a straight tempo, never changing, and your song will follow. You can also go into that and you can actually make put in your own tempo changes to correct anything that you might have done back then. And that is pretty much the end of that demonstration. So the important part when you actually see, I forgot the name of it again. Give me a second here. When you actually extract, I keep forgetting the word extract. When you actually extract a song to the tempo track, it's always a good idea to make sure that you have the first beat on an actual downbeat number, just so that it exports up perfectly, and then Studio One takes it from there. What do you guys think? All right, let's go to the chats here. Let's see what we got. I'm just going to go back a little bit. Let's see. The song you used was Get Out. Yeah, that's right. Hey, Damon is here. Good to see you. He says, what's up? Rich says, salute. Kyle Ruziak. Let's see. Move the mouse to the cursor above the tempo line until you get a different cursor. Yeah, I could do that too. Let's see. Wayne actually says it's the small variations that give it the song feel. Oh, I agree. I completely agree with that. Just Bob says, let's see, the waves were highlighted only if you tried to speed up a section of the song. Yes, exactly. So green is actually speeding it up, red is slowing it down, usually. Let's see. Damon is actually saying hi to everybody. He also says, I have yet to drop the hammer on this one, especially being able to extract all of the stems for a full song. All right, the thing to remember about that, Damon, is that it doesn't separate keyboards and guitars, and sometimes if you have a guitar solo, it's actually going to put that in the vocal track. So it is the only thing that you can do is, let me actually see here. If I go here and I say separate stems, it'll only give you vocals, drums, bass, and other. So with this, it's going to put all of the guitars and keyboards together. Not sure why. I'm sure that this will be expanded in the future to where it actually really separates. I did download some demos of some other stem separators that actually do divide the guitars, and they work kinda. None of them actually do it clean, at least not the ones that I could get demos on. All right, so let's see here. Johnny Lipsham says, I think we can turn off the click now. Wayne says, not to burst your bubble, but I think this was the version you had before I did my track. Before I did my track, this might be. It might be. But all of the tempo changes are there, so it is... Well, whether we did it live or whether we didn't, I was still able to show tempo changes. So, let's see. BTN says, it's sad. Every singer always... drums are too loud. Exactly. Let's see. Kyle says, guitarist makes the guitar louder. Yes, exactly. Damon says, copy that. And probably a frequency thing for separation, says just Bob. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why it only does it so limited. But again, out of the other stem separators, the third-party stuff that I was actually able to test, they do all pretty much the same thing. And some of the ones where you could actually separate them even more did maybe an okay job. At least, again, these were just the ones that I tested. I don't remember the names of them. But then again, I don't want to put them down either, so it's probably good that I don't. All right, we've got 19 people in here. Good to see everybody. Hope you guys got something out of that little example there. I suppose I could show you the other ways that you can do this too. Let me actually go like this and open this up again. All right, so here's our song. So the other way that you can do this. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to delete. Let's see can I go back? I don't think I can go back even further. No, I can't. All right, so if I go ahead, I'm just going to create a new song. All right, so let's create a new song. And... all right, so from here, oops, I didn't want all of this. All right, so if I go back, so if I go, I'm going to follow Bob's EF, there we go, the song Get Out. So the first way that I discovered for the tempo track, Johnny Lipson says, let's not talk about us bassists. All right, so Wayne, I'm sure you remember this one. All right, so this one, I am sure we did live down here. Correct me if I'm wrong, Wayne. All right, I'm going to open up the tempo track. All right, so if we right-click, here's the other way that we can do this. We can just use the extracted tempo track, or we can do it in two steps. We can use detect tempo. So it is actually processing, and what it does is it gives us a little diamond here. Now, the important thing with this is before you move it up to the tempo track, you need to line up this track. Don't move the diamond. You're going to move the event. You need to line it up with a downbeat, and then you just drag it up. And you can see that it does the same thing. So there's all of our tempo changes, just like that. So that's the other way that you can actually do that. So let me actually see if I can make this a little bit more centered. There we go. So again, it has followed all of our tempo changes. Yeah, yeah. And I know that the other one is you playing too, Wayne. I think you're right. I think what I did is I sent you the track, and then you actually redid the track at your place and sent it to me. But the other song, I'm sure that it's you playing, because I don't do those fast hi-hat rolls that you did in that one. So at some point you redid the track. So I'm pretty sure that that was you. All right, so you can see that you can either do the right click, line up the downbeat with the beat, and you can do the right click and you can do the extracted tempo track, or you can do it this way first, make some adjustments, and then drag it to the tempo track so that it follows everything. Hopefully that makes sense. Johnny Lipsham says, I am a drummer as well. Started at age 2. First gig was age 6. Playing ever since. Wayne, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the first time you played drums was when you and I hooked up for the first time, and I brought my keyboard. I mean, I'm sure you played when you were younger, but I mean, you actually played with someone else. I could be wrong. All right, there we go. We got 17 people in here. We got 57 views. Good to see everybody. Got a whole lot of people in here, so this is extremely cool. Very cool. 18 concurrent viewers. How many are you guys seeing? How many people do you guys see? Because I don't have an accurate count. All right, so that was the second way for the tempo track. So I showed you the tempo track, the drag option. I showed you the right click and extract a tempo track option. We separated stems. We replaced a little bit of a drum track just to see how it would sound. Pretty darn good. Oh, Wayne is playing with a traditional... How do you do that? I've tried to do that. My hand isn't strong enough. 18. Very cool. Good to see everybody. Awesome. All right. Yeah, okay. So that's right. Concurrent viewers is 18. Perfect. All right. Excellent. All right. So if you guys got any questions, please feel free to leave them in the chat. Remember, if you want me to answer one of your questions, please type @HomeStudioTrainer, and it should kind of populate for you after you type the word home. And that way I won't miss it. Although I will try to grab questions that don't have that if I can, because there's only 18 people in here. Wayne says keyword is trying. Exactly. That's awesome. Let's go ahead and go back to the main here. Good to see everybody. Everybody sees my my ever-changing studio in the background. But I think this is going to have to be a final because I'm out of room. So for those of you wondering where I'm actually sitting, I am actually, when I had to give up my closet for a storage space, that closet was my drum room. You can see that everything's in here now. So you're probably asking, well, if you had a bed in there before, what the heck is that? That was wild. I don't even know what happened there. Watch this. I had some sort of weird explosion in the background going there. What the heck? What is that? Where did that come from? Oh, man. I don't even know what that was. It wasn't anything I did. Great. Let's see. Damon actually says, I noticed with the Quantum ES2 sometimes I have to toggle the off switch for it to be detected on my laptop. Well, I would have to actually test that with my Mac Mini, Damon, because I never turn my stuff off. Yeah, that was fireworks. Oh, Wes is here. Good to see you, Wes. Glad you could make it. Yeah, where the heck did the fireworks come from? I don't even know if that's possible. How is that possible? Oh, because it came through my OBS. David's here. Good to see you, David. Let's see. Can you comment on Studio One support for broadcast wave files that film composers need to use? All right, so I'm going to defer that question to Johnny Lipsham, who is here. So, Johnny, the question is, if you don't mind answering, and I'll read it out. Let's see. Can you comment on Studio One's support for broadcast wave files that film composers need to use? I think it actually still works. All right, Damon says, gotcha. Yeah, my stuff is on 24/7. I mean, I'm always doing something in my studio. The cool thing is I get to work from home, and when work is actually down and slow, I look at emails and stuff like that. So David, great question, because I actually don't know the answer to that. I assume, remember what happens when you assume? I assume that it works with broadcast wave files. Johnny will let me know here in a momento. All right, let's see. 20 people in here. Good to see everybody again. If you have any questions, please type at Home Studio Trainer before it so I see it. Wes, he says, hey, Johnny, are there any channels that you would recommend for people who want to look at Studio One effects in depth? I think you recommended some people a while ago. For Studio One effects, I don't have any yet. I was planning on doing a whole slew of them for Studio One 7, since I've had to start things all over again. I had a video for every single effect in Studio One with Studio One version 5, early version 5, before my old YouTube channel got hammered. All right, so this is for David. Let's see. So Johnny says he's not 100% sure, but I think broadcast wave file is converted to a regular wave file, as far as I know. I can ask the devs in my next meeting with them. All right, that would be great. I'm sorry I couldn't give you an answer there, David, but we will find the answer. If you want, David, feel free to send me your email address or just send me a hello email, and I will put you on a list once I get the answer. So, David, I'm going to type my email address in the chat. I think that's it. Yeah. All right, let's see. I'm a Drummond. Great name. He says, how often do you have these live feeds? Can you send us an email alert or meeting invite? Okay. I'm doing these every Friday. If I have to work on a Friday, I'll do them on a Thursday, but I can send you more advanced warnings of these if you actually just subscribe to my channel. If you just hit the subscribe button, you'll get an automatic alert whenever I publish one to get ready. So I'm going to start doing these maybe 3 or 4 days in advance so that you guys have enough time to get ready. Oh, Trent Lundy, good to see you. I haven't seen you for a long time. He says, in all of my songs that I'm working on, the volumes get really loud. I think he meant to type. Till the main out clips over 1,000. I have a limiter and clipper on every track. All right, so for limiters, if you put a limiter on the track, it's not going to do much because as you start to layer more tracks, the volume goes up. So it's best to put the limiter on the post of the main out, just one limiter. Putting a limiter on every track in your songs, it might just make matters worse. So I would remove, and this is how I do all of my songs. I just put a single limiter on the post of the main outs so that it keeps everything under control. So you have to watch also the volume of the tracks. If they're too loud, too much of that limiter is going to peak. And you won't get peaks and it won't get louder, but you'll hear the compression of the limiter work harder, and you don't want that either. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, these live streams will all be at Friday mostly on on Fridays at 6:00. Sometimes I have to work on a Friday, so I'll have to do it on a Thursday. I may even have to do it on a Saturday. I'm at the mercy of my job I do during the day. I have a night job and a day job, so imagine that. All right, so let's see. That was just Bob. Thank you. Yeah, Johnny Lipsham says, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to get all the notifications. Yes, I always forget about the notification bell. And he says, so cool of a teacher. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm a drummer. And I'm a drummer is the coolest name in here so far. Very cool. So appreciated. Let's see. Johnny Lipsham to Trent. He says, try adjusting the game of your audio events down so that they do not peak too high, like maybe 12 dB. Yeah, that would be like, that's called gain staging. That sounds quiet, but once you start adding compressors, the gain adds them up. Exactly. My trick, and I know this is a trick of Joe Gilder. I remember watching his videos. In some cases, just putting it on the post of the main out is the best way to keep it under control. Rich Cresswell with some good advice. He says the purpose of a limiter is to limit. If everything is at 0 dB, there will be a stack and all of the exponentially added to the volume of the mains. Turn down the tracks, take off the limiters. There you go. Half of what I said. Some people don't like adding a limiter to the post of the main out. It's just the way that I work. And all of my songs, I just had a song. I had a song that I did, produced, reviewed by Joe Gilder. Over there on Studio One Plus. I was so honored, and he had so many kind words. My head swelled. And but he reviewed the song, and the way that I do the mixing and the mastering, he loved it. He pointed out some things that I could have changed. My kick drum was too clicky and everything else, but he said he really loved the mix. So coming from Joe Gilder, that's quite a compliment. Trent Lundy says these are gain staged at -1 dB. Yeah, -1 isn't going to gain stage anything. Sometimes if you have just a few tracks, you can gain stage at -6. If you have a lot of tracks, I definitely suggest what Rich said and gain stage at -12. Damon Humphrey, he says, I use just one limiter as well. No need to add everything. Yes, exactly. Oh, Trent says he's tried all that. That's strange. As per my above post, the gain does not equal volume. Shift select all of the tracks and turn them down. Trent Lundy says -18. Sure, you can go that low. Yeah, remember, on the main outs, if you see that number that shows up in red when it's clipping, that is not the volume level. That is the amount of times that it actually clipped. So Johnny says here, if you are seeing 1,000 clips over 0 dB, then this is because the sum of all your audio is too loud. So, gain is being added somewhere that is too much. Okay, Trent says he's turned down all the faders. No, you don't want to turn down the faders. You want to actually, to gain stage properly, you have to use the event handle volumes on all of your events and turn them down there. He says he still hears it. I don't know. That is if you do all of that and you still have the problem, Trent. I don't know. That is a weird issue. Unless somebody else here in the chat has an idea. We got 22 people here. I'm not sure what could be causing that. Johnny and Rich are probably the best experts overall, as far as volume goes. I've used the event handles. That is strange. If you've used the event handles and it still is not changing, how many tracks are you running? Let's see. BTN Studios says if you have channels that are too loud, you can also add a VCA channel to the channels that are too loud. Sure, you could do it that way. Turning down the VCA will turn down. Yes, which keeps everything at the relative volumes. Yeah, that's another thing you could try. But what you're talking about, Trent, is odd. We should maybe consider doing a Zoom session so that I can see what you're doing. Because something's going wrong somewhere. Let's see, Wayne says maybe he can send the files to somebody. Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest. Trent says, but the channels are all sound good, but every now and then everything gets louder. Oh, so this isn't a consistent thing? You're the second person that has told me that you're getting volume increases out of nowhere. Now that's interesting. I've only heard this from two people. Okay, so he says it's randomly. Okay, so that's why the limiter isn't working. But, as suggested above, take the limiters off of all the individual tracks and just put it on the main out. Do that. I mean, if you've already tried that, okay, I get it. But it sounds to me... Oh, wait a minute. What interface are you using? Okay, just Bob. Excuse me, he says that's the difference then. I did take off the limiters. Okay, so Trent, what interface are you using? Oh, he's using a Scarlett. So here's a question, Trent. Does the Scarlett have something called auto gain? Scarlett 212. If the Scarlett... Now, I had this problem with my Quantum. My Quantum has auto gain. And I actually was using the microphone input when I was doing a Skype call, and the volume of that channel just kept flying out of control. What I didn't realize is that Skype... Excuse me, Skype has the option to regulate the channel, and it was affecting my Quantum. And my good friend Truckee led me to where to turn that off, so it didn't happen anymore. But Trent says no, it doesn't have auto gain. That is bizarre. I don't know. But you are the second person to tell me that that's happening. I can't imagine what I would be able to test. Now, one of the things that you can do, Trent, if you want to zip up the song in a zip file and send it to me, now I'm not going to have all of your third-party plugins, but if you want, I can test it here and see what happens. It does it on loops mainly. That's even more bizarre. Not on the recorded stuff. That is wild. Yeah, Tony is suggesting maybe there's a wiring issue, but not quite sure that one. I'll send it to you. Thanks. Do you know how to properly use the zip file option to export channels? Or to, export a song, I'm sorry. Here, let me show you real quick. You might know, but I'm going to show everybody. So if I close, I don't want to save this. See, Trent says sometimes it does it, and then it doesn't. Okay, all right, so you know. All right, I put my email address above. Let me know if you find it, and send me that, and just, and send that to me in an email. You're probably going to have to put it up on like WeTransfer or something so that I can download it. And Wayne confirms, do a Zoom session with me. That'd be perfect. Rich Cresswell says loops are generally normalized to 0 dB. Correct. That is correct. But I think his problem is something other than the files. Let's see. So Johnny Lipsham says, would put real money on this being an issue with the volume of the loops being normalized. I don't know, but to do it randomly, Johnny, I might actually take that bet. I don't think that's the issue. But I do think that once I actually get the song here, it's going to be easier for me to evaluate. So if it doesn't happen here, then there's an issue on his computer somewhere. But if he sends me the files and we do a Zoom session, I can show him what I'm doing. Let's see. Trent actually says I took the volumes down on the loops. Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's Studio One either, but... All right, thank you, Trent. So make sure you got my email. And then we can hook up at that point. If you want, I can send you my phone number as well. You can give me a call and we can chat first. All right. Damon says he's got a jet, but we'll see you again at some point. Sounds good, Damon. Glad you could jump in. Very cool. Very cool. Still 19 people here. Oh, let me actually get out of... What was I going to do? Oh, I was going to show them how to zip up the file. Well, you know what? Since I got a few minutes here, I'll show you guys the best way to actually zip up a file for Studio One. Rich Cresswell, he actually says, I think it is a good bet. Not all are going to be. That's where the macro normalized peaks at 12 dB is a superstar. Oh, that's a good one. All right, so if you look here, I've got a MIDI song. All right, so let's see. What do I have for? I'm using Impact. I'm using Presence, and Presence. Okay, so since I'm using all of the instruments that are included with Studio One, I can just export this without having to render the tracks, since the only people that are going to be able to open this are people using Studio One 7. So the best way to share a song, at least in my opinion, is going to be going to File, and then using Convert To, and then going to Zip File. Once you actually do that, it is going to give you a couple of options. I'm going to export it to my desktop, and I'm going to say Save. All right, so it's going to give you a couple of options. If you want to save on the size of a song, you can check the loudness audio files. It'll actually export everything as FLAC files. I haven't really seen that much of a big extreme difference just without this and just having it export with WAV files, but you can do that. And this is also going to tell you what VST instruments you are using in your song, so that you can confirm with the person you're sending the song to. You can confirm with them what they have. So any plugins that you do this with that the other person doesn't have will just show up in red when they open the song, but they will still be be able to open the song. So then you would just answer all these questions and you would click OK. It's going to put that file on your desktop. And then you can take the file and you can just go ahead and put that up on WeTransfer or in Dropbox. Send the person the link, and that'll give you the ability to open up that song. If you are on Studio One Plus, you can share it right in a workspace. And at some point, I am going to get with Johnny Lipsham, and we're going to actually show how that works. Let's see. Wayne Goldman says, see ya, got to get ready for the fight tonight. Okay, I don't know what fight you're having, but good luck. All right. Trent actually says he's used minus 12 macros. Okay, so there's an issue somewhere else, but I don't know. It's an interesting question. But I've heard it from a couple of people now that just out of nowhere, the tracks either get louder or they get softer. Anyway. All right. I think that's going to do it for me tonight. Hopefully you guys got something out of all this. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do the next show on, but as far as I know, I'm still going to do this one next Friday. So if you want alerts as to when these are coming out, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and you click on the little bell and say all notifications so that it sends them to you. All right, and Trent also says he hasn't boosted any automation. Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. I'm sure we can figure it out, Trent. I'm not really worried. I think we can do this. And maybe it'll help me actually help the other person who had this issue. Oh, let's see. Johnny Lipsham says Tyson is going against an unknown. Tyson, isn't he like 50 years old? What the hell's he fighting for? Really good show. Thanks, says Johnny. Or says Just Bob. Oh, and Just Bob, I got to get you over here. We got to do a guitar show. You know, actually maybe going through some of the sounds and stuff in Empire and actually laying down some tracks. I think that would be a fun show. We did that once a long time ago. I would definitely like to do that again. So let me know what you think. All right, very cool. So, folks, thank you guys for coming in. Looks like we had 26 people at one point. Great. That is a very successful live stream for me. So I really do. I got the hiccups now, so I really do appreciate it. Tyson has probably blown all of his money, so he needs the cash. No kidding. But a fight at 53, man, you know, if he ends up dying in the ring, the other fighter's going to feel really, really bad. Let's see. I'm a drummer, actually. Posted something. I almost missed it. He says, as for fluctuating volumes, has the event gain been boosted? Okay, that was what Trent was asking. Was answering. So very good. Very, very good. Well, thank you guys for all the participation. It has been great for this live stream. Stupid YouTuber wanting to fight Tyson. God. I would laugh if Tyson flattens him in the first round. See, now I'm going to have to go watch it. I had other things to do tonight. Like 10 more videos. Oh, man. All right. Thank you guys for coming in. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys all in the next live stream.